Life is short, not in a dramatic sense, in a literal mathematical one. The male life expectancy in the UK is around 78, which means my 4,000 weeks are already more than halfway spent. Now, a few years ago, that hit me, not because I was scared, but because I suddenly realised I needed to ask myself something more important. Is this the life I want to look back on? And that single question changed everything. In 2021, everything seemed to collide at once. We had our second child on the way. Work was intense, life felt busy and full. For the first time, I paused properly, and around then I started reading more like books like the 4,000 Weeks, productivity books, psychology books, basically anything meaningful around identity and purpose. And then I tried this exercise from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done. It's imagining your funeral and what you would want people to say about you, not what they will say, what you wish they would say. It forces you to step outside of your life and see it from the outside. It made me think of the 5 most important and most common regrets that people have at the end of their lives. I wish that I'd lived true to myself. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I expressed my feelings more. I wish I'd stayed connected with friends. And I wish I allowed myself to be happier. And the truth is, I could see myself in all of them. It was confronting and clarifying because once you see all this, you can't unsee it. Something shifts in your 30s and 40s. You grow up in ways your 20s could never prepare you for. Responsibilities get bigger, kids, work, mortgages, aging parents. Your time gets squeezed, your energy gets stretched, your identity gets questioned. You realise you're not invincible anymore. You're not 22, and time isn't an endless runway. You start to see how fast the years disappear when you aren't intentional. And you notice something else. The world you grew up in is not the world you're living in now. So when I started my career nearly 18 years ago, there wasn't so much social media, very little YouTube creators, no flexible really work culture, and no alternative careers. You got a job, you worked hard, and you followed that path. But the world has completely shifted. There are opportunities today that didn't exist or even have names. And there will be again in the next 5 to 10 years. Expectations have also exploded too. Lifestyle, success, identity, performance, everything feels magnified. We compare ourselves constantly, often without realizing it. And somewhere in all of this, many of us forget to ask, is this the life I intended to build or just the life I drifted into? That was the question I was wrestling with. Now, after that exercise and after reading a lot and asking myself different questions, what am I actually trying to achieve? Why do I want to make a change? What do I want my life to look like in 2 to 5 years? And what small thing can I do today to move towards that? And I realised something really simple. My biggest issue wasn't direction. It was overwhelm. Everything felt too big, too much, too late. And then I saw a quote in a property group that I was part of, and I kept it on my desk and I've had it ever since. It's simply this: just do the next thing, just do one more thing, never give up. It sounds almost too simple, but it unlocks something in me, because the truth is you don't change your entire life at once. You change it through small acts of intention. That's how everything I've done since then has happened. Learning new skills, getting fitter, starting this YouTube channel, rethinking my career, being more present as a dad and a husband, not through dramatic leaps, but through consistent small steps. One thing, then one more thing, and never giving up. Around September 2021, I wrote a document and I still read it today. It's not a business plan. It's not a list of goals. It's kind of a moral compass, a kind of reminder of who I want to be in the second half of my life. As a father, as a friend, who I want to be at work, and as a human being. So reading it now is, it's emotional, because that's who I want to be, and that's who I'm working towards, whether it's slowly, imperfectly, but it's intentional. Now, this document is the heart of this video. It's the heart of my channel. It's the heart of my journey, because once you're clear on who you want to be, your money decisions, your career choices, your habits, everything starts to align with life you actually choose, not one you fall into. So here's the truth, in my opinion. Most people don't need motivation. They need permission. They need permission to pause, to reflect, to question, to redesign, to say, I want something different. You don't really mature until 30s, 40s-ish, and you don't really gain perspective, and you don't feel the urgency until you realise time isn't infinite. But that is not a problem. It's actually a gift, because the second half of life can be incredible if you live it intentionally. And this video isn't about money. It's not about financial systems or habits. It's about the foundation behind those. Who do you want to become? What life do you want to live? And what small thing can you do today to move towards it? Until you answer those questions, you can't build good financial habits, at least not in a way that sticks. So life is short, but it's also precious, and you still have time, more than you think, to design a life you'll be proud to look back on. And this is where my journey really began. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about my money mistakes I've made over the last 20 years and the practical steps I'm taking now to live with more intention, to live with more freedom and more meaning. So, if that resonates, stick around, maybe subscribe, and let's do this together, one small step at a time. Remember, just do the next thing, just do one more thing. Never give up. Thank you.